Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Eddie Hearn, the Matchroom promoter, has announced that he's won the purse bid for Filip Hrgovic versus Michael Hunter, which will be an IBF final eliminator. So that will decide who will fight for the next IBF mandatory for the belt that is currently held by Anthony Joshua. And this has kind of been one of those will they, won't they fight. The purse bid had been sort of pushed back, postponed, all that sort of stuff. A lot of questions about was it going to actually go ahead, and yes it is. So as more details come to hand, I'll do some further coverage on this, because this is a great fight. For Filip Hrgovic, it's the breakthrough performance and fight he'd be looking for, and for Michael Hunter, obviously for him, it will get him to a title shot, and both these guys have title aspirations. It's a very good fight. I think some people will lean towards Hunter and also to Hrgovic. It pretty much is, I think for a lot of people, close to a 50-50. Myself, I would be sort of edging towards Filip Hrgovic, but you know, it's a great fight. So good to hear that the purse bid situation is resolved and the fight is going to be made. And Michael Hunter has reacted on his social media, saying bounty hunting is a complicated profession. And this little mock-up promo, so he's wearing some Star Wars regalia from the Disney Plus show. Anyway, Bob Arum, he says that the broadcasting deals are all but done for the Undisputed fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, which seems to be like it's going to be set to announce soon in terms of a site location. So Arum, he says obviously the big market is the UK, where everyone is talking it will do 3 million homes. Sky and BT both will have it on pay-per-view. You'll be able to buy it on BT or buy it on Sky. It can't be exclusive to either. And off the US side of the coin, he says the traditional pay-per-view outlets will be part of it, like DirecTV, In Demand, etc. It will be normal pay-per-view here in the United States. ESPN will be the distributor. And asked about, well, what is going to be the price point for that, so the total cost of the pay-per-view, he says, I have no idea yet. We'll work it out with ESPN, with In Demand. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has to be consulted. It has to be a price that everybody agrees to. And of the actual site deal itself, he says, we have contracts now that we are marking up and so forth. It's a big step. We're just doing the paperwork now with the Saudis. And it does look like it is going to be landing in Saudi Arabia, in Jeddah. And Eddie Hearn says that of the date, because it could land during the Tokyo Olympics, he says, we don't have a choice. There are too many people and things to fit around with the fighters, trainers, countries, time zones, the Olympics. Whatever date we are given by the site is the date that we will go with. I know AJ and Rob have been talking, so I'm sure they will work it out. And Rob being Rob McCracken, obviously he is tied up with the Team GB setup. So if it does occur in July during the Olympics, then McCracken, well, that's a hard choice for him because he is a key part of Team GB on the boxing front there. So we'll have to see what the date is actually sort of tossed out by the site once all these things are sort of shaken down. But Hearn says it would depend on timings. The date we're given is where the fight takes place, and the guys know it will be around the Olympics. It could be inappropriate, but it is the biggest fight in boxing and the biggest moment in AJ's career, so we have to work it out. I know Rob takes his position very seriously. He loves the job and the kids, so it's not ideal, but we can't move it a couple of weeks either side. Someone is spending a lot of money, so we have to go wherever they say. And Hearn, just on the specifics of the site deal, getting it all worked out. So following on for Bob Arum, his comments are, both sides have accepted one specific proposal, and we're finalising that with contracts going backwards and forwards with tiny points getting ironed out. We haven't finalised the exact date. July 24 is the rough date, but it may leak into early August, but no later than that. The American heavyweight Jermaine has expressed his disappointment that he's had to pull out of a scheduled fight with Stephan because of COVID. So he would have been the main event with Charr on Ring City USA's card, which is going to be at West Point in the United States, the military academy, but COVID forced his withdrawal. So we'll get to him and his comment on social media and then to a few thoughts.
Hey, I just wanted to say to all my fans out there, I'm sorry for the disappointment. You know, I'm a little frustrated myself. I worked hard. I bust my ass for this fight. I'm in shape. I'm ready to fight. And I caught COVID. So first thing first, me and my team's health is more important. So, I have to sit the back road on this one. But hopefully I got something big coming up for the future. And, just stay tuned, stay following me, and pray for my safety. And everybody take this serious. COVID is a serious thing, I was feeling fine at first, but now I'm starting to feel little symptoms. So it's real. Stay safe.
So it is a disappointing situation because this was a really good crossroads fight. In Jermaine Franklin, he was unbeaten. He was looking to sort of solidify his position as a sort of top American prospect coming through. He hasn't necessarily wowed us with some of his recent performances, but it was an opportunity to beat another guy who was nipping at his heels. Stephan, a guy who was also unbeaten, potentially has more upside than Franklin, but obviously we were going to see the fight and see how it panned out. And the guy that came out of that fight would have really been in a good position, but alas, it's not to be for now. So hopefully that will be rescheduled because I think that really is a good fight. And who would have thought? Don King is trying to get involved and stop the fight that had been announced between Mahmoud Charr and Christopher Lovejoy for May. So in a legal letter, Don King Promotions says it is unconscionable, illegal and unethical for you to participate in this May 15, 2021 bout or any bout without Don King Promotions' expressed written permission and consent, the letter from King's lawyer states, and that's obviously to Christopher Lovejoy. So Lovejoy has publicly spoken before about being tied up with King until early May, but then he filed for bankruptcy a while ago and said on social media that he was free and clear of his deal with Don King. Clearly, Don King and his people believe that they still have rights to Christopher Lovejoy to promote him. So the letter continues, participating in any bout without DKP's expressed written consent is willfully breaching the promotional agreement and exposes those you have entered into agreement for your services as a professional fighter to extreme legal liability, as they too are aware that you are under contract to DKP. And the letter goes on to say, if you have in fact signed to fight Charr as you proclaim and has been reported in these media reports, you have intentionally, willfully, maliciously breached your exclusive worldwide promotional agreement with DKP. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I'll just get to quickly. I mean, wow, who would have been surprised that a fight involving Christopher Lovejoy was in danger of falling over? We all saw this from 1,000 million miles away, that the fight in May between him and Charr, unlikely to go ahead. Something was going to happen, and apparently that something is Don King stepping in. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he hasn't signed a contract. It could all but be, effectively stuff that's been said on social media. Remembering that the press release looked like they'd spent about $5 on making that thing when Charr announced it on a social media, and it really has been pretty much low-key since. So maybe this is some sort of revenge tactic by Mahmoud Charr and his people, who've got Christopher Lovejoy on board just to mess with Don King, remembering that King scuppered Mahmoud Charr fighting Trevor Bryan by not providing some requisite travel documents for Charr to get a visa to fight Bryan in the United States in January of this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's some sort of weird wind-up and sort of retribution will get you to waste time, effort and resources, including legal letters and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. But, yeah, whatever Christopher Lovejoy is involved in, I'm just sort of very skeptical right now. And obviously, Don King still thinks that he has promotional control over his career. For however long that is, I mean, who knows? But, yeah, not surprising that something has cropped up that is going to scupper this fight. So not over yet, but all but. Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.